South Africa is the first country in the world to perform a successful human-to-human heart transplant surgery in December 1967, performed by Christian Barnard in Cape Town. If only Chris was still alive to fix the country, because my fellow South Africans are going through another pandemic in the streets. The GTI is responsible for thousands of hearts being broken in South Africa and destroying many relationships. When South Africans say umjolo is a pandemic in South Africa, the GTI is one of the main reasons for this statement. In this video, we're going to be discussing the VRR originator, the GTI.
In 1974, Volkswagen finally unveiled the car which would replace the legendary Beetle, a front-wheel drive, water-cooled hatchback styled by Giorgetto Giugiaro and his world-famous Ital design studio. It was a time of great upheaval for Volkswagen. They'd remained faithful to the water-cooled Beetle for too long, and there was intense press speculation on whether the new car would be able to live up to its predecessor's success. They need not have worried. The new car was the Golf.
Rise to fame. The original GTI, the Golf GTI, and the Golf in general has a long and rich history in the automotive world. It replaced the Beetle in 1974. The Beetle was known as the people's car. The GTI's entire history is not that important to this video, as only car enthusiasts would care about that kind of information. South Africa received the first Golf GTI in 1982. The Mark II Golf GTI was introduced in South Africa in 1986. The Mark III Golf GTI was introduced in 1992, and this was when the Golf GTI lost its popularity in the streets, as the VR6, or more locally known as the VRR in South Africa, is a much more popular car than the Golf GTI. The Mark IV Golf GTI was introduced in 2000. The Mark IV Golf GTI is considered by many car enthusiasts to be the worst GTI ever made. It didn't look or feel sporty at all. This was the lowest point for the GTI in South Africa, as not that many people looked at that car and aspired to buy it. In 2005, the Golf 5 GTI was released in South Africa, and this car changed the game forever. In 2005, the Golf 5 GTI was by far the best hatchback money could buy in South Africa, and it became an instant hit in the country. It looked better than its competition. If you compare it to the 2005 Ford Focus ST, the 2005 Audi S3, and the then clown-looking 2005 A-Class, the Golf 5 was in a class of its own, and also offered a whole variety of comfort features. This is the GTI that turned into the GTI South Africans love and know today. And the hot hatchback market has never been the same since. In 2005, the Golf 6 GTI dropped in South Africa, further improving on the Golf 5 GTI in every way and further cementing the GTI in South Africa as a household name and a car many people aspire to buy. In 2013, the Golf 7 GTI was released in South Africa, and this started the VRR era of hatchbacks in South Africa, cementing the GTI as an icon in South Africa.
Okay, so here's the car in all its glory. Now, the VW Golf GTI is probably the most popular hot hatch. It is also believed that this is the car that pioneered the category of hot hatches back in the 1970s. It holds everything. It's got the heritage, it's got the looks, it's got the performance as well. There are hot hatches that are quicker out there, that are can drive much better than this car, but I believe there is no car that combines everything perfectly more than this one does.
South African sweetheart. The GTI is South Africa's sweetheart, as it's one of the most loved cars in the country, and it appeals to a very large demographic of people in South Africa. The GTI can pretty much be anything you want it to be. If you're looking for an affordable sports car, the GTI is one of the first cars that come to mind. According to a 2005 Car Magazine article, a brand new Golf 5 GTI costs just over 250,000 Rand. If you're looking for a good all-round car, the GTI is one of the cars that comes to mind. Its performance, fuel economy, and practicality is what makes the GTI so appealing. Mums and fathers are seen driving in GTIs. Car enthusiasts, from car tuners, drag racers, and even the stance community loves the GTI. Its performance makes a good car for police special forces to use when needed to chase down criminals. And of course, its performance makes it a good getaway car for criminals to use as well. The GTI is loved by all corners of the automotive world, from people who don't know much about cars, all the way to car enthusiasts.
The exhaust pipes and make it possible that they can do sparks, they can do what they call vrpa in the townships.
Vurupa challenge, challenge Vurupa. My brows orega Vurupa. That's orega Vurupa.
Pa. Ringing talk. Don't they fast? This shit is fast. So why you join a bro? Pela kukuka video. Vrumpa, bro.
VRR originator. The GTI is the VRR originator. In this day and age, it is common for sports and performance cars to make crackling and burble sounds with loud pops and bangs when upshifting or downshifting. But in the early 2010s, this was not common. The Golf 6 GTI, and most notably the Golf 7 GTI, fitted with dual clutch DSG automatic transmission, was the first and most recognized car to be doing this from the VW factory. Car enthusiasts took this even further by modifying these cars by either fitting in a louder exhaust or doing a whole stage 2 or stage 3 modification and tune on the GTI, where air intakes, downpipes, exhausts, and even the turbo is upgraded and tuned. The GTI can become so loud that many people would mistake its pops and bangs for gunfire. Now, with the GTI being the original VRR, the GTI is also a chick magnet. South African women love fast, loud and sporty looking cars, and the GTI ticks all the boxes. It is a common occurrence in the streets of South Africa to see a nice looking girl in the front seat of a GTI, and most South Africans know what is going on.
Number 5, it's a chick magnet. I'm gonna stop there. I won't say anything else. My South African brothers know what I'm talking about.
The waiting is finally over. The long-awaited Golf 8 GTI has finally hit South African showrooms. This car is a treasure to many Mzansi petrol heads, and it turns heads wherever it goes with its iconic VRR exhaust sound. In my side of the world, the GTI is known to be a chick magnet, and every guy who owns it is a professional dribbler. If your girl knows the difference between a Polo and a Golf GTI, just focus on yourself, my king. She belongs to the streets.
It is widely known in South Africa that those who belong to the streets will be seen in GTIs, and many relationships have suffered and ended because of the GTI.
Just give me. Hey! 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 But I heard they will hurt you. Oh, no.
Many songs were made about the VRR.
VW Vropa, o shaking out Vru ba, moka Vru ba.
And in South Africa, the GTI is one of the most respected and loved cars in the streets. This is why the GTI is a South African icon.